It was hard to pick hymns for this week. Jesus is in the middle of a hot diatribe, and this word of his is at the climax of his speech. It might even be angry. Do you think I came to bring peace on earth? Well, yes. Yes, we do, because the angels said so. Peace on earth, goodwill toward man. I tell you no, but division. So which hymn do you pick to reflect the sentiments of Jesus? I know, sharp and pointy is thy mercy. How about, like sandpaper to my soul? Or, Jesus, yell thou on. Maybe, thy word it doth sting me. Or my favorite, as the deer bleeds after being shot in the head with a .30-06. This is rough stuff from Jesus, isn't it? From now on, they will be divided. Father against son, mother against daughter, right on down the line. Divided over what? Over himself. Over a God who had the gumption enough to come down from heaven to visit with us. And over a man with the gumption enough to open a door for us to heaven. He's an offense. He's offensive right to the core. And it's awfully hard to pick hymns for the Good Shepherd when we're on the pointy end of thy rod and thy staff. Fire he came to kindle, and a baptism he came to be baptized with, and it was none too comforting for him to think on it. He was anxious about it, anxious right to his core. And he wants you to know about it in your core. I was trying to pick hymns for this when word came to me that my cousin's little boy died of an aneurysm. Little boy, I call him. He was 15. But the last time I saw him, he was Deanna and Bud's little baby boy, their second child, practically newborn. After I met the baby, I went coon hunting with Bud down by the river where we had learned to fish and swim and camp, and to grow up from boys to be men down there in the wild places of northern Alabama. Bud is practically a little boy in my mind, where he dwells in my memories as one of the most fun people I ever got to know. We threw rocks across the river together, threw rocks at trees, at pigs, at snakes, at just about anything you were supposed to throw rocks at, against the side of the barn, against the neighbor's house, at our 6 collective sisters. Bud had tall in his genes. He grew up to be a basketball star, then he got married to a pretty cheerleader, and they started making babies, a whole bunch of them. And that's when I married a pretty girl and started making a life of my own. I haven't seen him much since then, and I just heard that his 15-year-old boy died of an aneurysm this week. There's nothing you can say right now to make the hurt go away. Can you say, well, he's in a better place right now? Do you think Deanna and Bud are even going to hear those words? Some of you have been through what they're going through. Can you even hear religious stuff? I know he's happier now. It's certainly true, but words like that are religious words, and words like that don't have a prayer against the rage Deanna and Bud are feeling right now. Absolute rage. What did that boy do to bring death upon himself? What did they do to God to bring that kind of hurt against themselves? There's no answer to that. There's no answer to what happens to us except evil. This is evil. This is why Jesus pops, surrounded by all these religious people, because he didn't come here to make us more religious. As you can see by all the questions being asked of him, even by his own disciples, he didn't come here to make us more religious. He came here to rescue us. He came down from heaven to rescue us from this cloud of evil that hangs over us. Every step of the way, we're threatened by evil of all sorts. I'll let you name off in your own hearts all the things you hate about life, all the stuff you have no power over, even the sudden death of your 15-year-old boy, and then I'll let you figure out what you're going to do to fix it. That cloud of evil is dark, impenetrable, foreboding, and it means our doom. It has a mind of its own, and its mind is bent toward our destruction. And all we can do is rage against it, powerless. Jesus comes down to visit with us, and he picks up on that rage. A fire I have come to cast on the earth, and how I wish it were kindled already. That's rage, my friends, our rage, and our man, Jesus, now has it. See, I take comfort that my God had the gumption to come down from heaven. And he became a man with the gumption to move away from the quiet waters, away from the green pastures, to rage against the evil, and not only rage against it, but to actually take it on and fight it and carve out a hole within it, a portal, a window in the cloud, so that we might escape. But boy, did it take the fire of the wrath of God to open it up, right? That's what he was looking forward to. Little holes in his wrists and feet to go along with the gashes across his back, and sharp and pointy thorns crushed down into his skull, and through every opening poured the wrath of God against every evil thought, every evil word, against every evil intention, much less against all those deeds of evil that even we religious people commit. What kind of baptism is that? Aren't you glad that you were baptized with water? Now you have what he has without having to be the kindling for the wrath of God. He's alive, standing, the Son of God, shining like the Son of Man, shining like an everlasting fire. That's the fire you've been given, a fire of life, a living fire. And that's why you're divided, father against son, mother against daughter, and on down the line, being separated out from each other to be joined with Jesus in his fire. We all go through what Bud and Deanna are going through. Maybe not the loss of a teenage child, but we all go through the misery of evil and the threat of death, and we are all doomed to experience dying, just like Jesus. All we can do is rage. And we can do one more thing. We can cling to Jesus. That's about all we can do. It goes along with being helpless and weak. That's what I said to Deanna and Bud. There's nothing for you but grief today. But that grief belongs at the cross, where the disciples gather to see the horrible price to be paid to rescue us from evil. I believe in the resurrection of the body. That's what I said. I imagine that some of you in here are going to precede me through that window, escaping once and for all this evil world. The numbers say that I'm going to go before some of you, and the numbers say I'm going to go after some of you. Those of you who go before me, I have a request. In this mystery of the communion of saints, if you die before I do, and you see that bright, shining fire, and you encounter Jesus, who says he is the resurrection and the life, when you realize the mystery of his words, when he says, yea, though a man dies, he shall not die, but live. Say hello to my cousin's boy for me.